Howdy gamers, how's it going? Jester back at it again with another dogshit video. And so at the start of this, I would like to explain why I have taken the break that I took. So I will talk about this more in depth in a video of mine somewhat soon, but I had this big problem where I felt like I was really trapped. And the fact that I might be stuck working like shitty blue-collar jobs the rest of my fucking life. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel like I'm trapped doing that. I'm lucky the part where I know this sounds weird, but I don't have a significant other. I don't have children. I live by myself, so I can very selfishly spend a lot of my time working on my person if I want to. And a lot of ways that I did that was by working on YouTube and spending a lot of time on YouTube. And I love doing it. I love to fucking death doing YouTube and streaming. And I've actually taken a break from streaming now to work more on myself better because I don't think it was that productive. But with YouTube, I more took a break because I was really conflicted. I think for a long while I was looking at it like it would be an escape. Like this would be my way out of the rat race and do something I really fucking love. But something started creeping in where I'm like, I don't think I should look at YouTube like that. I really don't. I think I should look at it always like a hobby. Even if it ever does hypothetically become a full-time job, it should be my hobby. I should still look at it like that and almost look like I don't have a job and just do what I enjoy, if that makes sense. But I got to the point where I started being pretty upset with my life again, and I was like, I don't think YouTube's gonna be this escape for me. I still want to work hard on it because I love it, but not because I think it's going to be my way out. And I was like, okay, I have this massive fire under my ass. I need to figure out what I could spend in my life doing, and I dropped out of university as a computer science major, and I knew I really liked programming. I enjoy it a lot. It's very fun for me. But I never spent near as much time working on it, so I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and try this out again and see if I can kind of have a similar fire under my ass, and to take a little time off of YouTube and take a break from everything. Actually, for about 2 weeks, I just played classic WoW and really didn't make YouTube videos. I was just streaming, but streaming isn't really productive for me. I just do it to chill with people. And I kind of got a lot figured out. I'm really grateful that I took that time off to really think about, okay, I need to straighten my life vision together. And so after a couple of weeks, I started learning Python. Python, I think, is the language that aligns with what I want to do the most, which a lot of what I'm interested in is AI type stuff. A lot of the machine learning shit is very cool to me, and also game development is very neat. And I'm going to mention Jester MMO. So, Jester MMO, it was never fucking meant to be what it turned out to be, and I got way in over my head. The fact that I have very minimal to no experience in programming, let alone literally zero experience in game design, and trying to tell people that I'm going to try to lead dev a MMO is fucking retarded. Because the literally most difficult game to make is an MMO. And I've not even made a fucking game before. How am I going to make it an MMO? It's retarded, I'm sure you get it. That was a pretty bad fuck up on my part. But I'm gonna clarify what I originally meant and before it got blown out of proportion. I think when you're learning something, have this big carrot on a stick be at the end of it. Something that's always helped me motivate a lot. Like with YouTube early on, I was like, I want to make it my job. So that's what kind of kept me motivated to doing stuff I really enjoyed doing. And with programming, I think it's that Jester MMO part. I think that's like the big carrot on the stick to keep working every day to, because I know that's what I want to do very badly. And so I tried doing Python. I was enjoying it. I don't think I was as motivated to learn programming as I was YouTube, but it was still pretty good. I could still spend about 3 to 4 hours every single day on top of working. And then on my days off, I would spend about 6 to 8 hours, which is a pretty large amount of time to spend on learning something, especially a single thing. And I made pretty fucking good progress. I was making pretty great progress. I was pretty proud of myself. And it's a very slow thing to learn programming and a language. And I had some experience with Java in the past, but I'm kind of coming into this with almost no programming experience. And so I started learning Python. Originally, I used Code Academy. I think Code Academy is great, but I think I'm kind of fucking retarded, and I interpret things very literally. People who talk to me know this. I can't, read between the lines very well. XD, autism, whatever, who gives a fuck. I started learning with Code Academy, and the way they word their questions, though, were very much so trying to speak to a person, which makes fucking sense. But the problem is that actually hurts my ability to learn something. I would prefer it ask me literal questions, like write an if-and statement, and have it do this thing and produce this result. I comprehend better than, hey, write a program so that way it could do this thing. Which is far more practical too, because that's the way that someone would actually speak to you in real life when they want you to do something, but I need to learn a different way than that. I can get to that point eventually, but it can't be where I start out, so my brain troubles comprehending it. So I got through, I think, about half of the Python thing through Code Academy, and I'll go ahead and show that now. Okay, this is actually lower than what I got. I was around 50, I think it was like 49% or something, but I kept redoing lessons, so I kept resetting them, so it only shows 38% here, but this is what I was doing. Also, another part about Code Academy is I'd like to save up money on doing other stuff, and it costed $40 a fucking month, which I'm like, Jesus. Now, if you're a student, you get it for free. If you're out of a job because of COVID, you get it for free. A lot of programs to get it for free. Yeah, unemployed. And not just COVID, unemployed fucking students get it for free. And that's how I used it in the past. But I did it for like 6 days, got about halfway through the Python thing, and I'm like, okay, I need to fucking I need to find something else. And so I was like, alright, I think it'd be time to transition into the more game development stuff. So I started learning Godot. Godot, I think, was great, and I started learning a lot of guides, but I'd like to start talking about my progress in Godot. These are my projects. Not all these are test ones I was looking at it for. So I first did first project, and I think when you go into it, you're like, hey, I'm gonna be following a guide, so it should be pretty fucking easy, right? This shouldn't be a difficult thing to do. I'm almost copying and pasting code. Why is this game should work? However, as you can see, first project 1, there isn't 2 because I rage deleted that. V3, V4, please work this time. V5, fuck edition. I obviously was having trouble. So, this is the first project. Every single one of these, for the most part, I was following a different guide. And I had trouble with this one. I know how to fix this now, but I was having trouble with this one where I'm like, why the fuck isn't my guy moving? Why isn't he moving? Why? I couldn't figure it out. I was new. And I followed the guide exactly, but my guy wouldn't fucking move. And I know why now. I should say I know fucking why. But it was annoying, and I couldn't figure out why at the time, so I'm like, fuck this guide. I'm not saying it was the guide's fault, but fuck it, let's just try a new guide before I goddamn bash my brains in. So now, let's go ahead and go to First Project V2. Oh yeah, that one's gone because I got pissed off and deleted it. I can't even remember which guide I was following. And then I had First Project V3. This one was Mrs.'s guides. Mrs.'s is probably my favorite person so far for learning stuff for Godot. I think his stuff is really great, but I followed his guide, and my guy just wouldn't fucking move. Not only would he wouldn't move, gravity wasn't working, it's just the whole fucking thing wasn't happening properly. Once again, I know what I fucked up, but I got pissed off and whatever. So I'm like, okay, maybe video guides, which is what I was using to this point, maybe they just won't work for me. Maybe I'm much more of like a reading type learner. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use an official Godot guide. And so I did this. I got the first project version 4, please work this time. And with this one, I started doing pretty well, and I actually got nearly done, as you can kind of see by this. And then for some reason, the fucking the start button crashes the fucking game now. But it just wouldn't work. And I'm like, I want to die. Once again, I know the problem with this now, and I know why it didn't work. But partway through that, I got really pissed off. I started copying and pasting random code into it to see if I can maybe get it to work, and I ended up closing out of it so I couldn't undo that progress, and essentially bricked the entire fucking game. So that sucks. I lost a couple hours learning that, but once again, not that bad because I learned Godot. So now let's go down to the final masterpiece, which is First Project V5 Fuck Edition. This isn't quite a complete game, but it's like a working demo, kind of, and I'm happy because it's the first working demo of a guide I was able to make. And all of these projects, I think, happened within like a 3-day period. I finally got to work. Hit start. Look at that. The guy moves. Look at that. Every time one goes off the screen, you get a point. Holy fuck. I'm ready for Jester MMO. So, they hit you, you die. So I was really happy about that. I was really fucking happy. And I was really, really, really proud of myself. I almost fucking cried out of enjoyment that I finally made a thing. I know it sounds dumb and that I didn't really make it. I more followed a guide on how to make it, which I will link this guide also down below. I think there's a lot of great guides, but just this one worked for me, so I'd like to show it to other people. It's using official Godot documentation on how to create a first project. I think it was really nice. I learned from it really well. If you don't like text guides, I'd recommend checking out Mrs.'s. I'll link that one too. I think they're the best guides I was able to find. Just no bullshit, but there's a lot of really good ones. And I followed a whole bunch of different guides, so I was actually able to get one to work. And I feel like something I'd like to talk about too is why Godot. I don't fucking know. I don't know that much about game design. So I've not used Unity, I've not used Unreal. Godot's the only thing I've used. And why is that? A couple reasons. I'm on Linux. Specifically, I'm on Manjaro. And Godot is a really, really lightweight, really efficient program. It has a native support for Linux. I don't even know if Unity Unreal does. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, barely. It's very lightweight, which is really nice. And overall, I don't know, I'm pretty happy. I worked pretty hard, and I've got some decent progress. Godot's also open source. It's something I care a lot about. Runs offline really well. Even if you're offline, the documentation for the game is extremely good too. You can go to your script, hit control, hit anything, and hit control, see where else it's at, but hit control and also see their documentation for it. So I was able to see everything that function or that specific thing would do. You pretty much learn everything about GD script through this entire fucking thing. It's really good. Very, very nice for learning, especially if you're offline, not somewhere where there's internet connection and you still want to learn stuff, which can kind of be hard with 2020. So yeah, I think that's about it. Pretty happy with it. I'm going to come back to making YouTube stuff more actively, and I've been working on this pretty hard. I'm going to keep updating you guys. I hope to fucking God people don't come into this video expecting it to be like other dev videos. There's some other dev videos, like what Mrs. makes, and fuck, what's his name? Australian game dev. Will this get me there? Yes, it does. There's people like Randall. He's really great. Mrs. I think that's how his name is spelled. It has another IZ. Who gives a fuck? He's pretty fantastic too. A lot of specific stuff, really good on Godot. And just as a human, I like him a lot. I agree with his morals quite a bit. So that's pretty cool. He's pretty great. No frills, no bullshit type guides and stuff. His are very, very good. He holds a very similar opinion to making guides, which I kind of like. He makes guides because I'm like, I need to tell you to do this fucking thing and be a little goofy and not the bullshit. Kind of like the same reason I made the mic guides, because every guide I thought was fucking horseshit. So I like his a lot. And he specifically uses Godot, which is very helpful. Oh, look at this. This video too. How to make an actually good tutorial. Stop wasting my fucking time. So he's a good guy. I recommend him a lot. I'll have his shit linked. Generally, I think if you want to get into game design, personally, he's I've been most motivated by this guy. And I appreciate him a lot. Yeah, so that's it. Jester MMO soon TM. Peace, gamers.